All right, Cowboy Nation, if there's ever a team that mirror one another, we got to mention the Kansas City Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys. Both got dynamic quarterbacks. Now, of course, defense been always suspect on the Kansas City Chiefs side of the coin. They went and established and got playmakers, but the defense, collectively speaking, been on the bottom end for the 2021 season, and the Cowboys defense, collectively speaking, been somewhere not on the bottom end, but close to it. And when I say these things, it's not to sully or denigrate our guys, but we do have playmakers on defense that can shore up some things as it relates to ugly situations. You guys know turnovers, forcing turnovers go a long way, and we face a team that we have to be mindful of, that they can get hot at any moment. They are the 27th ranked defense. Collectively, 18th ranked overall. And if you look at all of their gradings or what have you, they're tied for 11th in the NFL as it relates to offense. Now, one can argue when I mention that the teams are similar, we're talking about the quarterback style of play. And pretty much on the running back situation, you know, they don't have an Ezekiel Elliott and they don't have a Tony Pollard. But when their running backs were healthy, one can argue that their running back by committee was something similar, not the same. Now, they do have Tyreek Hill, and he's no one to sneeze at, as well as Travis Kelce, who can pretty much vertically stretch the middle of the field. They got a creative offensive coordinator or offensive game in general. So far as the Dallas Cowboys versus the Kansas City Chiefs, it's not a cakewalk. They're 6-4. A lot of people pencil them in as a team that's going to the Super Bowl at the start of the season. So when we look at everything, and let me just pull this up for everyone to see. And when you look at everything, you'll say, all right, Cowboys, we should go in. We should be able to punch them in the mouths and leave them with the raggedy tooth. But this is the situation. It's a home game for them. And on top of that, Pat Mahomes got an extra feeling that he wants to play good against the team that he rooted for and the team that he grew up watching. I read a comment earlier this week, whereas Pat Mahomes was saying that basically he grew up in the era not of Troy Aikman, but in the era of Tony Romo, in the era of Dez Bryant. And he really followed Dez Bryant because they both, grew up in East Texas or what have you. And he was just a big fan of Dez Bryant in high school, college, and then, of course, he went to the team that his father and him rooted for, and that's the Cowboys. So we look at all of those things, Cowboy Nation, and according to ESPN, they have us right at a point favor right now as far as percentage chances of winning. And if you look at Dak Prescott collective stats, 2,341 yards. Of course, that's pretty good. 20 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. And Pat Mahomes have 25 touchdowns with 10 of them. And he's been a turnover machine. He's pass happy, and he will try to needle it in there. He'll try to fit the ball in tight windows because he trusts his arm. And there's nothing wrong with trusting and believing in yourself, by the way, Cowboy Nation. And Pat Mahomes, he's close to 3,000 yards already for the season. So he's been pretty good, but their starting or leading running back is Williams. And, of course, one can argue that, man, with the opportunity and everything is hot, shoot, he can run. He can run that rock. But he's running for 343 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Ezekiel Elliott, 663 yards with 7 touchdowns for the season. One of his better seasons, by the way, for Ezekiel Elliott. Like I said, less is more. When you are able to use Tony Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott, that goes a long way. And our leading receiver right now, just look at the differences right here. Tyreek Hill, he's the guy that you really got to say to yourself, all right, 75 receptions for 855 yards, 8 touchdowns already. Now, those numbers, hear me out, Cowboy Nation. It's good for somebody for the complete season, right? Hey, how was your season, dog? How did that go? How did your season go? Well, I caught 75 receptions, close to 900 yards. That's the season with 8 touchdowns. And our leading receiver right now is CD Lamb. See, Dangerous Lamb, right? Jazz with it Lamb. 47 receptions, 726 yards, which is not bad, by the way, and 6 touchdowns. He's having a hell of a year, by the way, Cowboy Nation. So we look at all of these things. One of the things that, like I said before, when we go all the way down and we just going over the raw data right now. The raw data supports the fact that I was saying that these teams are very similar, right? And, of course, points here and there. But the Cowboys average 31 points a game, basically. You can round it up and say 32 points a game. And the Kansas City Chiefs average right at 27 points. If you round that up, 26 points. And the points allowed, Cowboys 21 and the Kansas City Chiefs 24. Now, when you look at the total yards, 444 yards for us and 414 yards for the Kansas City Chiefs. But look at the passing, very similar. 304 yards for the Cowboys and 303 yards for. And this is on an average basis, right? The Kansas City Chiefs average right at the same wheelhouse of what we're averaging. Now, when you look at everything, and I was telling you guys about the difference maker, the running backs, Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard and company, we're averaging just 30 more yards, right at 30 more yards than they are right now at 139, and they're averaging 110. Right at 30. And that could be the differences of talent there. Scheme-wise, both teams pass happy. But I come here to tell you guys, I sleep on no team, and I'm telling you right now, the Dallas Cowboys, yes, we're first in offense, 21st in defense, second overall as it relates to a collective, but that don't win you games. You got to come with a game plan, and the game plan will be keep the momentum on your side. Score early and often. You can't trade field goals with this team. You cannot give them the energy. You can't continue to give Pat Mahomes opportunities. Blitz them early and often, but make sure that when you do get home, you take him down. And be mindful that you got to keep a spy on Pat Mahomes. He can run, he can skirt and get out. And he's always keeping his head and his eyes downfield. He's looking for the target, the Tyreek Hill. And you got to have somebody that can get deeper than the deepest. You got to. 4.3 speed, you got to have it there. You can't play around with your food against the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm quite sure that there's somebody on the Kansas City Chiefs side, like a Law Nation over there, is saying the exact same thing. You can't get CD Lamb going. You got to shut down and stop the run. You got to make sure that if you're playing zone with Dak Prescott, he is subject to passing it in tight windows and trusting his receivers. So when you jump the ball, jump it. Trust what you believe in out of your scheme and out of your film study. All of those things are being talked about over there in Kansas City Chiefs land, right? Now, the Cowboys' special teams have been a remarkable growth aspect to us, right? Let me pull up the special teams. 9th in special teams, I believe the Kansas City Chiefs are a little bit better. Let me see. 4th in special teams. Yeah, 4th in special teams. And, give me the Cowboys blocking a punt kick here and there. I like that. So we moving down. Just last week we were 11th. And the week before that, we was like 25th or something like that. I like to see these improvement, Cowboy Nation. And the defense is coming along pretty good, by the way. I'm talking about the Cowboys. So we got things that we can work out, and we are putting in right perspectives. We just got to work this thing all the way out and have the players to continue to have that chip on their shoulders. And it takes moments like this. Cowboys 7-2. If I were to poll a lot of people outside of the people that say the Cowboys going undefeated every year, I don't think that a lot of people would say, hey, man, the Cowboys will be 7-2 in November. No. A lot of people wouldn't think that, right? This is a game that we have to lace them up, fight, momentum, and believe in ourselves. Cowboy Nation. Post me your thoughts, post me your concerns down below about the Dallas Cowboys versus the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll do score predictions a little later on down the line, and we'll bring up some more things that they have conversations on down the line as well. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Go Cowboys.